Welcome to Just Breathe. We'll take a series of specific efforting practices, not so much to create effort and heat, but to stimulate so that we can then embrace ease and just being. Thanks for being here. I thought we'd take it as a more compassionate breath practice and then shift into what I hope is a compassionate allowing to just be, to be as we are with ourselves, just as we are, and see if we can't cultivate a little more of that permission than push. That's where I'm coming from. So as you're ready, settle into a supported posture shape. Feel free to recline, feel free to lean, feel free to prop. And see if you can't bring that breath deep into the belly, preferably through the nose. Notice what's happening with your breath. And then taking that feedback to adjust the body if needed, to adjust the mind stuff, the thoughts, the emotions, what you're paying attention to, and come back to just being with your belly breath. So if there's tension in the shoulders, how might you soften? If there's tension in the neck or the throat, how might you realign? There's discomfort or pinching happening because of the sit or the posture you've chosen. Where can you alleviate pinching by bringing in support, by redistributing space? And begin again. It's enough just to breathe. It's enough to direct our attention to the flow of life. Inhale to the exhale. And yet, perhaps therein lies the challenge. The push to do rather than just to be. And so we meet ourselves in that dynamic place by doing the breath, by applying our attention to the flow, to the sequence, to the pace, to the volume. We open the door to greater ease, to greater being by doing the breath mindfully. The breath doesn't need us to do it. And so as we sink deeper into this relationship of trust, can we relinquish some of the control? By relinquishing the control, we practice courage. We practice compassion. We practice connection, the gifts of imperfection. It's enough to just breathe. But if that being of breathing is in need of a little more support, then do the breath with the attention, and maybe even layering on the intention of compassion, of courage, of connection. Just as these focal thoughts might be that extra layer of doing, sometimes we need an extra layer of sensation, of effort. And so if this is enough, stay with this gentle chest belly breathing, opening and closing to life itself. But if the mind is struggling with the lethargy, the fatigue, or even the overwhelm of life makes it unbearable to just be with the breath, and bring in a little extra effort, activating that pelvic floor, activating the abdominals. But only use this not as a way to practice more, but as a way to engage in order to then let go. So if needed, add on about 10 rounds of efforting breath, of the Dharma breath that I teach, and then come back to this easeful. The Ujjayi is optional here on the exhale if you need more stimulation. Back off of that doing and come back to just being. Or notice if there is room, permission, compassion, courage to just be in this breath, to be in this moment, in this body. Practice of being, and specifically the practice of pranayama as a practice for being, is about clearing away what doesn't need our attention. And sometimes in order to clear away, to let it go, we have to first see it, be with it, and engage a little effort. So the Dharma breath, that efforting belly breath, is one strategy. Vastrika breath is a second strategy. And Kapalabhati, a third strategy. So we'll take these only if you need them. Vastrika breath, 10 rounds, if you need it. back off to ease, back off to being. And if this brought you into greater allowing, deeper just being, stay here. If another sensation or another tickling of that edge, repeat one that we've done, or Kapalabhati, forced exhale, passive inhale, 10 rounds. Releasing whatever little bit, whatever stragglers of effort you can let go of here. Come back to that easeful in and out belly breath, 10 rounds, and let go of all control as we complete this breath practice. What can you be with? Whether it's the courage to be with this moment, compassion to hold your heart tenderly, perhaps it's the connection, this union of body, breath, and mind, or maybe even a connection with another. If you have perhaps a relationship that is challenging in this season. Knowing that change is inevitable, that in fact our perception that anything is stable, steady, complete is a myth. You breathe and allow this flow to remind you the gifts of imperfection. Remind you that it's enough just to breathe, to just be. We close our practice. May you breathe deeply and move freely, labor lovingly, and live vibrantly. Namaste.